Today, has Peter Strzok and Lisa Page been identified as cooperating witnesses in the deep state investigation by Q? Hi, I'm Craig, and welcome to Just Informed Talk. We have an incredible show tonight with incredible information that I can't wait to get to you. But first, I start off by thanking each and every one of my subscribers. Without them, this channel would not be possible. If you have not hit that subscribe button, please come here to this landing page, click the big red subscribe button, make sure you hit the bell for notifications. That way you'll be notified as soon as these videos get posted, because as soon as the information is made available to me, I make it available to you. Now, jumping right into the post here, incredible story. We're going to start off today by talking about Q's latest post, okay? And we're going to read through it. It explains some incredible things that we're going to go over in minor detail, and I really am just floored by this information. So Q says, focus on the FBI and then kill box for now. Jim Rubicki, Chief of Staff and Senior Counselor, fired. James Baker, General Counsel, fired. Andrew McCabe, Deputy Director, fired. James Comey, Director, fired. Bill Priestap, Head of Counterintelligence and Strzok's boss, cooperating witness. Killbox power removed. Peter, and Killbox is just brackets for those of you wondering why I'm saying that. It's what the term has been given to it. Peter Strzok, Deputy Assistant Director of the Counterintelligence, cooperating witness, power removed. Lisa Page, attorney with the FBI's Office of the General Counsel, cooperating witness, power removed. Conspiracy, think about them above. Only the above. Get the picture? Q. This is incredible information. I really have not heard this anywhere else up to this point. I knew that they had continued to work at the FBI, Peter Strzok and Lisa Page and Bill Priestap, but I never would have imagined that they had been turned into cooperating witnesses, or it just never occurred to me. It seems so obvious now, but that's what Q's telling us, and incredible. So they got rid of Jim Rubicki, Jim Baker, Andy McCabe, Jim Comey. They got rid of all those guys because they were obviously deep state, hardcore, and they're the ones who were part of the cabal, basically at the lower levels, running the smaller organizations in order to basically subvert our democracy and subvert our nation's top law enforcement agency from within, it would seem, allegedly. So, but what Q's telling us is that, and if Peter Strzok, you imagine the level at the investigation he was in, where he was pretty much in charge of the investigation to a degree into the Hillary Clinton email servers, and into General Flynn when he went and interviewed him and ended up manufacturing a false 302, I think. It's a form where, you know, if you lie to the FBI, you can be charged for lying to the FBI. This is all alleged, but this is what the story has been up to this point. Now, Peter Strzok, if he and Lisa Page turn state, that is incredible, because you can only imagine the kind of information they have. Now, again, if you guys are interested, I just want to bring this up really quickly. If you want to go back and see what these last few posts are about, and even going back further, just go ahead and come here to this page and watch the last video or the last couple videos. I think all of these videos have a lot in them. I mean, you can go basically through the whole list and catch up however far back you want to go and catch up to where we're at. But that's totally up to you guys, and I try to bring this information fresh every day. This is the new stuff that we got right here. So, jumping back to the Q board, Lisa Page and Peter Strzok could have a wealth of information. Now, just examining their texts, right? Here's a Fox News article where it kind of just broadly explains what happened in, or broadly explains what the Peter Strzok and Lisa Page text controversy is about. Now, this text controversy does not include certain things. See, they want to continue to talk about the text messages, but something we have to remember, and we mentioned this in previous videos, so it's definitely good to go back and watch those, but I'm going to reiterate this, that there's other ways that they transferred information. Meaning, there was this thing they used as a dead drop, a Gmail account, it would appear. And this dead drop Gmail account could have been used by anybody, even up to the highest level, up to Barack Hussein. So you guys out there, be the judge for yourself. This is just the alleged information at the moment, but it would appear that allegedly there's a dead drop Gmail account where, now imagine how would that work? Well, instead of emailing, nothing was actually emailed. So what you do is you create a Gmail account, you share that password and login information with others, anybody you want to share messages with, then you go into the account, you can write an email, and everybody who uses Gmail knows it saves that as a draft. And then once you go in, then other people can come in and read that draft and leave their own drafts, and then they can communicate through drafts, and it basically stores on the cloud. And they were stupid. That's how stupid they are. They didn't realize the NSA can just go beep, boop, beep, and pull it up in 2 seconds. Hope you guys like my computer sound effects. But that's what they can do. And that's what they did do, obviously. Because these people, they're criminals plotting against the President of the United States. There are patriots in our government, many, many more patriots than scumbags. And it would seem that the patriots in our government identified this very quickly and went, oh, we should probably take care of that. We should probably not have the FBI being ran by a bunch of criminals. That probably is a good idea for the overall integrity of the justice system at large that needs to serve the entire country and not just the political elites in Washington who are being controlled by a globalist cabal. Okay, so enough ranting. But Peter Strzok and Lisa Page, they have all these text messages, and you read through them, and according to the text messages, Strzok was hesitant to join Mueller's investigation because of his gut sense that there was no big there. Yeah, there was no there. Other text messages talk about how the last thing you need is I'm sorry, let me read that in context. It says Page warned Strzok via text about the FBI's investigation into Clinton's use of private email server during her tenure as Secretary of State, saying in February 2016 that she might be our next president. The last thing you need is going in there, loaded for bear. Page continued, you think she's going to remember or care that it was more DOJ than FBI? They're all colluding. That's the point, the whole point here. And then talking about McCabe, right? And it says a controversial figure, Andy McCabe, was referenced in one of the texts here where it says, quote, I want to believe the path you threw out for consideration in Andy's office, that there's no way he gets elected, but I'm afraid we can't take that risk. Why are FBI agents talking about not being able to take risks? And then they go on to say, it's like an insurance policy in the unlikely event you die before you're 40. Why are unelected bureaucrats at the FBI discussing the fact that they can't take the risk that a president is democratically elected? How treasonous, how criminal, I mean, how much more criminal can you get? It's at very least the most unpatriotic thing I've ever heard of. At worst, a criminal offense. Okay, so, this is what we're dealing with here. And Q's talking about how these people are the cooperating witnesses now. So, and they even make mention in one text talking about a secret society. But here are the newer texts that just came out. And it's talking about how the text reveal frustration and a scramble after Comey firing because they were dying down there. Now, apparently Comey was like their little lord or whatever at the FBI who they wanted to follow into a new generation. Because you go down and read some of these texts, and it's Strzok saying, I'm dying down here. Now more than ever, this is an important, critical time. And we need to open the case we've been waiting on now while Andy is acting. So they're talking about how they need to get things going while Andy, it'd be Andrew McCabe, is still the FBI director. Now, they don't know what case they're referring to. Obviously, they're talking about the case into whoever, at this point, Michael Cohen, to go raid him. I mean, at this point, I know that happened after, I believe, but still, anything before that while he was still in office is definitely under suspicion at this point. And it says, now they redacted, this is the redacted version, and we're getting these things where they say, we need to lock in blank in a formal, chargeable way soon. Is that Trump? Did they redact that because it's Trump, or is it because it says Flynn, or because it says, who knows? but it's redacted right now. Can you imagine if they're saying we need to lock in Trump in a formal, chargeable way soon? Before, even the evidence is in. We need to find evidence. Or if we can't find it, we'll make it up. Now, here's the one they're talking about here. And this is Stroke writing, "Are you watching this expletive? Call me when you're off." And then they're talking about Sarah Huckabee Sanders said that Democrat or Director Comey had lost confidence of rank and file of FBI. And then they talk about how they felt a sense of loss. And then he says, having a tough time tonight, Lise, processing Lise, feeling a profound sense of loss. Peter Stroke, yes, you should feel a profound sense of loss because you're a loser, a liar, and a criminal. And I'm glad that you're cooperating. So please spill the beans on all your friends and let us know exactly what's going on behind the scenes with the deep state, Brennan, Clapper, Comey, the whole nine. Just let us know, because it's time. This is over. The charade's over. You've been caught. You people are stupid. That's what Q would say. So that's this. That's what I just wanted to think solely about the above, like Q said. So I've considered it, and I think that is obviously a good interpretation of what is happening. They're going to roll over on their deep state cohorts, and it's going to be wonderful. Now, the next Q post. Q says, peace on the Korean Peninsula isn't big news. Should we drop a hashtag Moab on that? Mother of all bombs. Timetables shift next week. Q. So we're going to see what the Moab is. I think it's definitely coming next week. That is incredibly obvious from what Q's telling us. He's told us before that there's an incoming Moab, and that the texts were the precursor to that. I believe that they weren't the actual Moab, that the Peter Stroke and Lisa Page, all that's going to be the precursor. And then now we're going to get into what the actual Moab is next week. Now, incredibly unfortunate, given the fact that you have this incredible story developing, but you wouldn't know if you go and Google it. You go here to Google and okay, I've pointed this out before, but it just drives me crazy. And I know people who say, go to DuckDuckGo, go to Bing, go to whatever. I do use those other web engines, but it ultimately Google is better for certain things. And it's not that I'm endorsing them or whatever. It's just you have to use Google for a lot of stuff here on the internet. There's no choice. It's not like there's a viable competition to it. So, but you read through these headlines that they'll give you. North Korea Accord draws praise and caution from North's neighbors. Talking about China, Japan, and Russia. North Korea, and that's out of the New York Times. Out of the Guardian, North Korea's state media plays down Kim's nuclear pledge. Okay, so next one, Business Insider. North Korea developments means it's time to think about the upside. Well, there's a mildly positive one. Time. How the historic North Korea summit gave Trump a path to create something. North pledges from NPR. North pledges are easier said than done. I mean, there's no way that the way that this is being covered and just in here is even remotely fair. But they've talked about how these algorithms are going to be changed, and they have been changed already by Google and they can change the outcomes of elections through this kind of stuff. So we need to demand that there's a change out there for sure. And this, I mean, you imagine the storm that was created when the North Koreans were threatening with nukes, and CNN ran the story 24/7. It was North Korea is coming, and they're about to blow us all up, and it's going to be the end of the world, and Trump's going to get us into World War III. And that was the vitriol. That was the insanity, the craziness that we saw building through CNN and other outlets that were just taking it nonstop. Now you have Kim Jong-un walking into South Korea, sitting down, talking openly about wanting peace, hugging the South Korean president, for crying out loud. I mean, what more could you possibly have asked for in order to give you a great story to cover that you could do wall-to-wall coverage on, and that would be a positive story? But no, that's the thing. Because it would look positively, or it would shine a positive light on the president, and it would show people that he's not this evil, racist, misogynistic, psycho, sometimes, like, somehow he's a mastermind and he's got dementia at the same time. I don't know how that works. But it will show that he's not those things. And they don't want to do it. So that's what Q is saying. And I think what the Moab's going to be next week, I really believe it's going to be something about these secret, the Gmail dead drop accounts, because I think there's just stuff in there that is really bad. But that's just my opinion. So you guys, let me know what you think in the comments, what you think the Moab next week dropping will be. Now, the next one. Q said, or an AN0N post, Q. Normies only watch. Normies is a thing that autists and Redditors and people on HN call just normal people who just aren't awake, people who haven't been red pilled, people who aren't really in touch with what's going on. But it says, Q, normies only watch CNN. They don't even know any of this is happening. We are too smug. Q responds, hope not. Might as well go sit in the CIA. That's funny. Russia grounding our military planes in Syria. Military aircraft crashing in U.S. Coincidence? Autists need Red Bull? Q. So Q's kind of, I think, calling out the autists there that there has to be more connections made and more work done. But in the next post, we'll talk about how he kind of backs off and says, we appreciate them. Because, I mean, can you imagine some of these people, autists? What is an autist? An autist is usually, for the most part, just a normal person who is maybe slightly better at doing things like doing research or doing like computer programming, whatever. And they spend a lot of time on the internet doing this stuff. And it's a very valiant thing. I mean, I wouldn't consider myself even an autist because I'm not that good. But these guys get up there and they work really hard and they go and they spend days and days and days and do research, put together these big graphics and do all this great work. And it's just incredible, and they don't get a lot of credit. But Q's calling them out in the sense of saying, connect these dots. He's giving us more dots to connect, right? So you have the Russians grounding our military planes in Syria. Now, I don't know what grounding actually means besides not allowing us to take off and fly through that they call Russian airspace. I'm not sure. But grounding, hitting them and crashing them, attacking them. But talking about military aircrafts crashing in the U.S., I mean, are those cover stories for the Russians grounding our planes? Like, so are we technically at a very mild hot war with Russia right now where the debate over Syria has become more than a debate? I mean, think about it this way. I've heard reports in the news, and I don't know if they're true or not, but just reports that have alleged that we've, accidentally, quote unquote, taken out Russian soldiers in Syria. So would it be a surprise to me that we have Marines who are abroad in Syria who have been targeted indirectly, accidentally, quote unquote, by the Russians, and that those are the reports that we've seen about military craft getting shot down in the United States? They're actually crafts that get shot down abroad, and they have to report it as it went down here to avoid the war that would be coming if people knew the truth. That's just a theory, but you guys let me know what you think in the comments. So I think that's what this is all referring to. And then the next post is actually really important because it talks about the autists. Now, an AN0N post here, after that one, obviously, when he said the autists need Red Bull, he said, the AN0N says, you act as if we haven't talked at length about this. We've created threads, research topics, and more about grounded planes, backdoors, and retaliation. I'm really sick of autists not getting credit for work we've already done. How many times can I yell into an echo chamber? No single public arrest. Pedophiles are still public. We've lost our jobs over this, lost friends, still nothing to show. And Q responds, and it's a fair thing to say, I think. He says, who makes arrests? This is Q. FBI and Department of Justice. Can you make arrests with a crooked FBI senior team? No, you can't. See previous posts about the FBI, where we talked about all those. Not easy for anyone. We are in this together. Much appreciation. It's what you don't know and can't see ongoing that will validate your efforts. Trust the plan. Step back. Remove arrests. What do you see? Stage being set. Godspeed, Q. So, yeah, I mean, it's telling him, we appreciate everyone We all do. We appreciate the amount of work these audits put in. And I try to contribute where I can, but I mean, in the way I do, but this is incredible. You watch some of these guys get up there and they can make these incredible graphics and bring all these facts together. And it's the power of the internet. It's the power of us working together. It's the power of us being a force for good together. So it's just incredible. And Q's telling us that we can't have these big public arrests because these people will get off, and it will end up backfiring on us because we can't use the crooked FBI as it is now and the crooked DOJ because they're being cleaned out. There's people who were in there who made it very crooked, and those people are being removed or they're becoming cooperating witnesses. And this is a part of the ongoing process to make our justice system viable again, because this was the whole thing that Trump ran on. Trump ran on the principle that because of, and this is just one of his principles, there was several, but because Hillary Clinton was shown this preferential treatment, that there was an unequal application of the law. And that meant there were two tiers of justice. And that meant in those two tiers of justice, there was the elite and then there were not the non-elite. And the elite were always given preferential treatment. And that's the first step in the destruction of our republic. And we had to clean that up and we had to change that. But the only way to change that is to systemically start with the country's top law firm, law office or whatever. God, I don't know why I'm not able to think of that. But no, the FBI, the top law enforcement agency in the country. Excuse me. I don't know why that tripped me up. So Q's saying it's not easy for anyone. It's a lot of work. I mean, even for me, trying to just keep up, maintain everything, keep the channel going, bring this content regularly. It's a lot of work. I work 7 days a week. I don't take breaks. I mean, I try to not work as much on Sundays. Thankfully, Q doesn't post as much, but it's a full-time job for anybody who's keeping up with this and trying to contribute in a positive way, because we're patriots and we love our country. And first and foremost, we love God and we work hard every day. But Q's saying that we have to trust the plan, that the things that are going on behind the scenes right now are what will validate our efforts. So we have to trust the plan. And I know sounds kind of like just a line that you would use to string people along, but I think we've had enough proofs of Q. I think we've had enough winks from the president. I think we've had enough basic small insights into what's going on that we can make this, we're building this huge theory, okay? And it's just incredible to see. So that's going to be it for this as of now. These are the latest posts from Q. I want to thank everybody for watching. Again, if you guys are looking for a way to contribute and help out this channel, please come here. And if you have not hit the subscribe button. Make sure you hit that bell for notifications. The second best way you can help out is go down to the bottom in the comment section of this video. Like I say, we have our own QAnon research at the end of each one of these videos where we go over the posts, we talk about what they mean, we talk about what they could mean, and other theories. So definitely, please leave your thoughts, insights, theories, whatever you have. Please go down there and contribute. And then we have this great community where there's a lot of great people who get together and share that information. And even if you can't comment, just scroll down and read through the comments. I guarantee you're going to learn something you didn't know. That's guaranteed. So that is going to be it for this episode. And if you're if you're looking for another way to contribute, it really helps me out big time. I can use all the help I can get to keep, because I work every day, 7 days a week. I don't stop. This is a 24/7, 365 gig here. So if you guys want to help keep this operation running, please come over here to Patreon. That's patreon.com. You can search Just Informed Talk. You'll come here to this landing page, click this button to become a patron. Come check out my rewards and my goal. And the rewards mean you get something in return for your donation, but you can donate and choose not to receive a reward. It's totally up to you. Just please come here and contribute if you want to help keep this channel going. And I thank you from the bottom of my heart for everybody who has contributed. And I thank you in advance to everybody who's going to come here and check this out. Now, the last thing we're going to talk about is always obviously the most important thing. And in the last video, we talked about God, and we talked about the importance of God, which we do it in every video. But this is so good. Last video we talked about James chapter 1. So, and we went through the first story there, which is trials and maturity. Now, I want to go through the second story because it's so inspirational, and I just hope these words speak to your hearts. Brothers and sisters, please, I hope that these words reach out to you and touch you in a way like they can touch me and touch everyone else. So, hearing and doing the word. How important is that? So let's just read this. It's so wonderful. It just warms my heart and makes me happy. So here we go. This is verse 19, by the way. That's where we'll start in the book of James. My dearly loved brothers, understand this. Everyone must be quick to hear, slow to speak, and slow to anger, for man's anger does not accomplish God's righteousness. Therefore, ridding yourselves of all moral filth and evil excess, humbly receive the implanted word, which is able to save you. But be doers of the word, and not hearers only, deceiving yourselves. Because if anyone is a hearer of the word and not a doer, he is like a man looking at his own face in a mirror. For he looks at himself, goes away, and right away forgets what kind of man he was. But the one who looks intently into the perfect law of freedom and preserves in it, and is not a forgetful hearer, but a doer who acts, this person will be blessed in what he does. If anyone thinks he is religious without controlling his tongue but deceiving his heart, his religion is useless. Pure and undefiled religion before our God and Father is this: to look after orphans and widows in their distress, and to keep oneself unstained by the world. You know, that verse it touches my heart, and I think it's a good lesson for anyone out there who is trying to reason with how to bring God closer into your life, how to become blessed, because I think that most people have a tough time, and it's not their fault, because we're all human, we're all flawed, we're all sinners. But people in general, especially with today's society, with TV and radio and not as much radio, I guess, but the internet, and the evil that exists out there, it's just so easy to resign yourself to saying, well, God hasn't blessed me, and I'm not getting the things I want out of it, and I'm not getting this instant gratification that I'm used to when I turn on my TV or I turn on the internet. But that's not how it works. God is not about instant gratification. God is about hard work and diligence. He's about steadying your mind and finding your inner peace, and then trusting in God and seeking his guidance and wisdom every day. You're not going to get instantly gratified by it, but there's a eternal gratification that you'll get. And there's just this incredible amount of blessings that God has in store for you, but only once he sees that you've practiced your faith in diligence, and not just in the way you speak to others, but how you treat others and how you enact the principles that you believe in your daily life. Now, I'm not talking from a point of me thinking I'm perfect, because I have my own flaws and I make a lot of mistakes because I'm human. But at every turn, at every time I've made those mistakes, I've sought God's forgiveness, and I've sought it like from the bottom of my heart. You know, that real, true, gut-wrenching, just, I want your forgiveness, Lord. Because that is what life's about, is getting God's forgiveness and then sharing his beautiful word with others. So if you don't take anything else away from this episode, I hope you take that away. Just remember that God does love you and that he is here for you. And all you have to do is open your heart to him. Start saying prayer. When you're happy, sad, indifferent, whatever, just reach out to God on a regular basis and bring him into your life, and know that his many blessings are waiting for you. Just the only thing he asks is that you believe and that you practice and you are diligent in your faith. So That's going to be it for me. I want to say thank you all for watching. Again, if you haven't hit that subscribe button, please come here and hit the subscribe button. That really helps me out. Also, don't forget to come over and check out Just Informed News. Go ahead and click that subscribe button too. That helps me out big time. I really appreciate it. That's my second channel where I will start posting these videos as well. It'd be like a backup channel. So if you guys want to come check that out, it'll have other content as well. So you guys are more than welcome to come check that out. I really appreciate it. But that's going to be it for this episode. So thanks for watching again. This has been Just Informed Talk. My name is Craig. Godspeed and God bless each and every one of you, Patriots.